Hi, everyone. This is Gary Berman, host of the Cyber Hero Adventure Show, coming to you with a special micro briefing with Dr. Jerry Luftman, who is the founder and managing director of the Global Institute for IT Management. And I've listened and learned from a bunch of smart people, but Dr. Luftman is a cut above, if you don't mind me saying. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's my pleasure, and you needn't call me doctor. The only one who calls me doctor is my mother because she always wanted to have a doctor in the family. Unfortunately, she got me.
Okay, but just as we're spending time together here, let me do the humor and you do the substance. That way we focus on our lanes.
Okay, then
Just
we probably both more successful in this discussion.
okay. Although you are very funny. So okay, so let's jump right in just with a little bit of your origin story. I mean, those are big words: global, institute, IT, management. Those are each big words. Tell me about them and how did you come up with this?
Well, that's a great way to start. Well, candidly, because we are worldwide, so that's where the global comes from. We've got programs literally all over the world. It's probably easier to say where we don't have some initiatives than where we do have some initiatives. We're an institute because we do education, we teach. And basically, our focus, our sweet spot tends to be IT professionals with 10 or more years of experience, typically those who've proven themselves as good project managers, good technical people, perhaps good lower level managers or consultants or service providers who are looking to move up in their careers. That said, while that is our sweet spot, our biggest growth are programs for non-IT executives who read about all of these emerging technologies, and there aren't many places, many people who can really convey to these non-IT senior level folks in terms that they can appreciate what these technologies are and what they really could mean to their companies, their industries, and what their roles need to be. So we are worldwide educators, and our focus is on digitalization, information technology. There is no company, no industry that cannot pay very close attention to what this digital transformation thing is all about.
Indeed, and you have been at the tip of the spear of these kinds of discussions and this kind of research and education for a long time. You were with IBM for, was it 15 or 20 years even?
20 plus years.
And what did you do there?
Well, at IBM, I basically at the end, I work backwards. How's that? I was part of their executive education center in Palisades, New York, where IBM brought in their largest executive customers and clients to find out what was going on with the technology of the day. And as part of that responsibility, I also helped them start at a long time ago. I got a lot of gray hairs. Uh, Sorry, you said no humor.
It's okay. If you can't let go, you know what? I'm changing. Go with it.
Well, okay, now I feel that I must know. Anyway, uh, helped them start up their management consulting group, and I was responsible for their IT strategy and business process engineering
Wow.
uh, initiative, which is proven to be very successful. And prior to that, I owned a lot of products that IBM offered, some mainframe computers, some major software initiatives. I can really go back and say I was involved with the initial launch of the IBM PC
Wow.
back in the day,
Hmm.
and for IT people and even some non-IT people could probably share some history with some interesting projects and initiatives that I was physically part of. But I thoroughly enjoyed my responsibilities and different careers at IBM. But candidly, when I was part of their executive conference center, I started to realize the gaps that existed in what academia and other training companies were providing and what industry sorely needed. So the gap that still exists today with the skills for IT professionals uh, was persistent, pervasive way back when, and unfortunately still exists. And it takes more than just technology to succeed in today's digitalization world. And that
Well, I
being,
think,
yeah,
forgive the interruption, just to touch on that point, one of the things when you were, and I were speaking before this, was this kind of both sides of the brain idea, where, um, you have people who have the technical chops, the IT experience, and that's great. And you have other people who focus on the business of running the business, whatever type of business it is, and they just historically have not synced up as well as possible. Is that where your kind of bridge
oh
comes in?
yes, yeah, you got it. I mean, we call that alignment or sometimes integration, whatever word people prefer. And the challenge of getting IT and non-IT organizations in harmony, aligned, integrated, uh, has been something that we've been looking at for 30, 40 years now. And although we're getting better at it, it's still a major challenge. And candidly, it's probably the largest or main reason why, if you take a look at the hottest technology of the day, artificial intelligence, AI, the failure rate of these initiatives are, or the success rate of these initiatives, however if you're a glass is half full or half empty person, but uh, the failure rate is the same as IT initiatives of 40 years ago. Whether it was implementing
Wow.
personal computers, basic databases, what the internet, whatever. And the reason is not because IT people aren't good project managers, nor is it that they don't understand the technology. It gets back to what you just said. It's getting IT and non-IT organizations to work effectively together to implement the technology. So you can have the best technology in the world, but if the business doesn't change what they do to take advantage of the technology, it doesn't matter. The success is not going to be there. And candidly, we're making the same mistakes today, as I said. In basically, you can't just throw AI to IT and say, okay, make it happen and expect to get a transformation. Or you give it to IT and IT just leverages the new technology in support of their own IT organization. That's also not going to provide the company with some revenue generating opportunities. So,
That's such a complicated objective. So we put up your website here. If you can take a look at it, why don't you just take us through, how you go about accomplishing this. We can go through the website.
if you'd like that, I'll take it wherever you'd like to go. So basically, our programs focused, as I said, on digital management education. While there are thousands of companies out there that do technical training, there aren't many that really do an effective job in taking a look at the digital management aspect of the technology. And we basically have a team of over 300 faculty who's comprised of a who's who of leading academics from some of the best universities and some of the gray-haired practitioners, whether in commercial environments as CIOs or management consultants. And depending on the target audience and their objectives, that's who we bring in to do the respective teaching.
And I notice as we're reading right here, it says all our courses are offered in live synchronous uh, formats, allowing participants to engage in real time with sessions, either face to face or online, depending on the preference. How do you orchestrate that? You know, you're a pretty sizable organization. How do you do that?
Another good question. So we don't market or recruit to individual candidates or students like a university might do, or another training company might do. We have what we call affiliates. So affiliates could be a university, it could be a management association, it could be a consulting company, a service provider, uh, other training, education organizations, people with large networks. And basically, we co brand the program with our affiliates and derive a revenue sharing model whereby GIM has the content and the faculty, and the respective affiliate does the recruiting of the candidates. And since we have done and are doing programs with universities, initially, we did them as just part of their executive education and continuing education programs, but now oftentimes our courses, our programs are used to help a university expand their existing master's degree portfolio. So we're not looking to replace existing faculty or courses. We're looking to help a university expand their existing portfolio of programs with programs that we have that they don't have. So it works out quite quite well. And when we're doing that with the university, we also recruit candidates for a university. So it's a nice model. It's a little different than
So do
most.
they, forgive the interruption, I just want to drill down on something you see on the screen at the moment here, your various, you know, affiliates. So your model then is, do you blind the content and they, you know, put their brand and their resources behind it? How does the affiliate
No,
model work?
we own the content and the faculty.
Yeah.
So it's basically our courses. When we do it as part of a university, sometimes the university almost considers us as outsourcing the teaching to the university. So it's their courses, and when we go through accreditation, it's their courses. Other times they use our courses as transfer credit, sometimes research credit. Different universities uh, really handle it quite differently. And frankly, most universities still are not very entrepreneurial or flexible to be able to get it through the respective internal academic uh, processes, which are always so wonderful to work with.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's cool and differentiated about your platform compared to others that I've come across or people in the educational space is it's really laser focused, you know, on elevating the talent pool, and I think connecting those enhanced talents with business objectives. Is that?
Oh, always. I mean, our favorite programs, well, sorry, well, yeah, our second favorite programs are ones when we do it for a large company and they bring in both IT and non-IT managers into that program and hear about the things that we're talking about, and then working together to solve a real problem or take advantage of a real opportunity. I mean, that's what we're all about. I mean, I've been, as we mentioned earlier, doing this IT business alignment thing for a lot of years and have done a lot of research in it. And it's fundamental to everything that we do and we teach. Before I go, the reason I hesitated as to my favorite programs or groups is doing at a company. Our favorite are really CEO only programs, and we've
Mm,
done over a half a dozen global 1,000 CEO events,
wow.
and they don't care about certificates or master's degrees, but we do have it at a wonderful venue, typically a 2.5 day type of an event, and it's just marvelous to get that level of wisdom, listening and understanding and reconciling the implications of where this digitalization is going and what it could really mean to them, and what would happen if they didn't really get actively engaged, if they didn't recognize that if they don't get personally involved, the alignment stuff, it's not going to succeed because we're talking about totally changing a business and the kind of services that they provide to their customers.
Yeah, so just to build on that point, as we're beginning to wrap up here, the pace of change in LLMs and focused learning models and other forms of things that are designated as artificial intelligence when it's sort of an amorphous sort of thing. How are you going to be ahead of the curve on that stuff? I just saw an interview with I don't want to mispronounce his name, but Arvind, the current CEO of IBM. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Forgive me if I mispronounce that, but
The answer is that's why I'm still working.
right.
I mean, candidly, there are two reasons I'm still working. I think I might have mentioned to you. The first is my wife said she divorced me and has nothing to do with the financial reasons. I drive her crazy. But really, I'm having a ball. The stuff that we were talking about 20, 30 years ago, and basically the impact that IT can have, is having, will have on every business is just profound and happening today. And the ones who are more successful are the ones who understand the kind of things that we were espousing for a lot of years. And it's a reality. This is, I mean, to me, there's nothing more exciting than seeing an IT and a non-IT organization, the light bulbs go off. We need to work together. The CEO, takes on the respective roles that they need to do. The other lead non-IT executives are actively engaged, and an IT is not there talking tech, but they're talking business and working very effectively with their non-IT business partners. And that's true whether it's within a commercial organization or we've seen it with consultants and service providers. Some of these folks, um, whether they're all from the same country or different countries, most of them don't have, they're great technical people. I always say you can take a database person or an AI person or a security person, and whether they're from Bangalore or Brooklyn, their technical skills are really very good. The differentiator are those other skills that we've been talking about, the business skills, the management skills, the leadership skills, the industry knowledge. We've got, I don't know if you showed it or not, maybe 15, 16 industry oriented programs, and taking a look at specifically how technology is enabling and driving change in the respective industry, whether it's digital finance, digital healthcare, digital pharmaceutical, digital retail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I argue that not many, I don't know of anybody that comes close to having all of those programs available. And they're hot. I mean, those are especially hot and popular with the non-IT executives, where we can really drill down into the specific industry and the impact that technology is having on that industry or will have on that industry.
Well, I'm doing a report right now on behalf of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. I don't recall if I mentioned it to you about the potential role of virtual and fractional chief information security officers to help protect the healthcare ecosystem, especially in rural areas, and small to medium systems and things like that. So the sector going deep is incredibly important. I'm also just beginning to mm, sort of stick my toe in the water, no pun intended, on water, protecting critical infrastructure and water using virtualized or fractionalized CISOs. How how do you update, for lack of a better word, all of the intellectual property that you've amassed over this long period of time? And why are you laughing?
Because
It's a good question.
it's you're asking very very appropriate questions, my friend.
Thank you.
The answer is when we do a live program, whether it's live face to face or live online, I can do the same course 2 days in a row or the same lecture 2 days in a row, and it won't be the same
Right.
because of the change. And it's not just because I changed my mind. It's we're literally changing the tire on a moving car.
Yeah.
which again makes it very, very exciting. So you've got to be cognizant of not just the individual changes with the individual technologies, but the impact horizontally across technologies. I mean, you can have the best infrastructure in the world, it doesn't matter. You can have the best data in the world that resides on the infrastructure, it doesn't matter. You can have the best applications in the world that leverage the data that run on the infrastructure, it still doesn't matter. All these things are changing at the same time, and it's a domino effect on each of the technologies. And
Right.
if you're not working horizontally across all of those technologies and recognize it's still not the technology that gives you the value or benefit, it's again how the business changes what they do to take advantage of the applications that leverage the data that run on the infrastructure, all which are secure. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, for
um,
sure.
so
There's one other thing that applies to what you just said here from this morning.
only one.
I'm sure there are many. I've just never taken one of your courses. I do superhero comics, so I mean, we're at a
Oh,
different
I tell you,
level here.
I think we should talk about what you do. It's much more
Um,
fun.
thanks. Um, but one of my friends, colleagues, I met him several years ago when he was the lead technical author on the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence report to Congress. And we're friends and that kind of thing. And so he sent me a report this morning that really just sort of blew my mind. You may have come across it, but it was just this morning that there was, I'll just say, some research done. I don't know by who, but apparently a credible organization that asked a very simple prompt. I'll just paraphrase. Pick a number, a random number from 1 to 50. And they used the exact same prompt, however they worded it, in 5 different LLMs. And all 5 came up with the answer 27. I don't know if you heard that sound, but that's my brain exploding.
Well,
I mean, obviously, if I don't know the parameters, of the research,
it,
but the a clear implication, if this was all kosher and everything the way they did it, is everyone's trained on the same information, and they don't know what the word rand. The systems don't know
oh,
what the
it's
tokens
well,
RANDOM mean, apparently.
look, what there are several explanations. One of which is there is a God, and we don't need to debate these things, by the way. The other is what a coincidence.
Yeah, right.
The other is this is awfully strange that
Uh,
they were all different models, so to speak, using a random, so to speak, numbers. Something doesn't sound right.
well,
Something's
the
very
LLM,
scary.
they don't understand the meaning of random.
Well, obviously, it can't be well. I mean, it is highly
Right,
unlikely
exactly. 5 different systems.
that 5 different
I'm saying,
systems is what.
ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. I something is very,
yeah,
very strange. And now you just think about this simple example, then you think about the implications of how these systems are being used for much more important things. And
exactly.
where are they going awry there?
Right.
Whether it's as you are looking at with ethics and honesty and things like that, or accuracy and you talk about using these things for healthcare, driving cars, flying in planes, making major financial investments.
Yeah.
This is much more risky. I was going to say risque, but risky, but maybe it is risky than just having fun looking at random number generators.
Yeah, and there are
It's
no,
interesting.
yeah, I mean, there are no uh, like standards or parameter guardrails. I guess sometimes people use that word. Um, and it's like the Wild West on steroids, isn't it?
Well, but who is in a position to create accurate guardrails? Not just from a governance or legal perspective, but from a knowledge perspective, and to make it universal across all of the different um, AI systems. I mean, this is a major challenge, and the time to address it is yesterday
For
before we
real.
go too
I
far and it gets out of control, because it's quickly going to become out of control. As
yeah,
people have to implement it because it's essential. But like I said, we're seeing challenges and some, like I said, similar challenges to technology projects we played with in the past. So people are starting to see it and they're being a little bit more careful. But there are those that are, you know, going forward and providing real answers uh, that may or may not be random.
Yeah, for real. Well, I could listen and learn, from you all day. I hope we can have a follow-on interview at some point in the near future. And how does our audience get more information about what you're doing?
Well, the best source, you showed it, our website, and I appreciate you sharing the website link. And there's also a brochure, which is a brief summary. I'm always open to talk to people about these exciting challenges that we're all facing in today's world, and it's not going to slow down by any means. Uh,
For sure.
but again, I always tell, you know, younger people, who are interested in a career in IT, it's an exciting place to be. It doesn't mean you have to be a techie
Right.
programmer to succeed. Working and understanding the implications of technology, how to succeed in deploying initiatives, are all really exciting types of careers. And recognizing that non-IT people have an exciting career too, and recognizing how to leverage technologies to really make a difference in their respective companies. So it's a great time to be engaged, and I'm having a ball.
Indeed. That's going to be the title of this episode. I already wrote it down. Uh, it says, I'm having a ball.
Sounds good.
Well, I mean, this industry needs it, right? I mean, I can just tell you for sure about cybersecurity. People are stressed out and burnt out, plus or minus. And that's part of like my mission. That's why I have a lighter touch to things,
Oh gosh.
to shine the light and say thank you, to them. And I'll close by saying, Jerry Luftman, aka Dr. Jerry Luftman, on behalf of a grateful digital universe, thanks uh, to who you are and for what you do, and most importantly, for why you do it.
My pleasure, and I certainly thank you, Gary, and look forward to chatting with you in the future.
And having a ball. And to our audience, stay tuned for more from the Cyber Hero Adventure Show.